Hi everybody, it's your buddy Brad here, and today we are going to be looking at the color scale variation in JWildfire. It is a variation that works best in a 3D environment, and it scales based on color. So we're going to take a look at our color grid here. Add a final, and keep linear. I take that back. They're not going to use linear. Just going to go ahead and choose color scale as a final, and you will see we will get a dot. If you look at the variables here, we have a scale X, scale Y, and scale Z. And also a offset Z and a reset Z. So first let's try increasing scale X to about 1. As you can see now it has stretched out on the X plane. Then if you scale on Y, it scales on the Y plane. And since it is a 3D variation, let's just change the pitch here some. Now the color grid, color scale does not seem to work with color mapped images. Or with color map, it doesn't pick up the colors from a color map. So it works a little differently on this image. It works mostly on off of a gradient. So if we look here, we are not seeing any changes because the gradient by default is set to white. But if we choose another gradient, now, like I say, it doesn't work with color map very well. This is not a very good example of how it works. But I always like to start off with the color grid. In fact, it is very solid depth. That's why we have such a, like the opening lines here. It just goes up and then down. There's no subtle in between. Change the gradient. See how the shapes react. One thing that I have noticed is it do need to tweak the color and speed under the color tab here. Here, the speed is set to 0. You're not going to get any, at least of the Z effect of it, which is the one of the primary focuses of the variation. But what we are going to use here is a simple linear tile. So I'm going to use linear, and I'm going to use post color scale. I'm going to leave that all set to 0 right now. I'm also going to 0 this out. And then I will discuss more about the scale, offset, and reset. let's get a gradient here. And let's see, set that to 0.5. And we're just going to duplicate that 3 times. Move that up and over and down and over and up, and zoom. And come down here, randomize colors, randomize B, get it cool, so we get something we like. So right now, the color scale is not doing anything. We're going to go up here to the first variation. We're going to adjust the pitch. We're going to increase the post color map here to almost 1. And now we are going to adjust the Z. You see what it has done here. If I set the pitch to 90, we have made it on a flat plane. You see, as this is at 0. As we increase it, it is scaling on the Z axis. And so this is the scale Z. The offset Z moves it along the Z axis. So here we're almost kind of splitting it. Now we're going underneath the plane. And what reset Z is, if we set that to 1, it affects it in a little bit of a different manner. Actually, I thought it disabled the Z. I guess I was wrong. So here, all of the, it's getting the information from the other 3 linears. And here, it's focused more on just our linear that we were using. Okay, so that's different than I expected. Of course, we can adjust the yaw. Bring the pitch down here some, so you can get a better idea. And then also, if we scale the X, scale the Y. Scaling X. I'm going to reset Z to 0 again. So right now we are only doing using the 1 linear here still. We come down here, we're going to pick this linear. Move that up to about 0.9. Now it is scaling I brought it into the negative, 90 degrees. Now this part is going up on the Z, this part is going down on the Z. And these two are on the same X and Y plane. Change the pitch. And we can also move the offset Z as well. And of course, with it being a 3D variation, it looks pretty decent with the 3D rendering. A few changes here. Of course, it's a little bit dark here. Let's just reset the pitch, reset everything. It might be a little too dark for you to see, but you can see how the ambient. There we go. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better now. But now you can see how it has made it a solid 3D where you can see the shadows inside the triangles of the Sierpinski. Move in some here. Quick little render. Yeah, this shows off pretty well, I think. How you can see the shadows coming from up above and below. And you can also, of course, use it as a final. Here's just some random Sierpinskis I loaded up. Let's see what we can do here. Add a final. I'm going to keep linear and use post Colorscale. Remember, even though the 0.5 is set, it doesn't affect it too much. Z. Well, it does affect it a little bit here. You can see how it's raising it up here some. Down the pitch here some. And of course, you can also, use it on, put along with any other variations and just experiment to see how it reacts with that variation. It even works with non-3D variations. Let's say if we have a Julian, post Colorscale. Gonna add a linear real quick. Zoom in. Let's take a look at this color speed, color and color speed. So we have made our normal flat Julian, and we have given it height as well as I can't think of the word right now. I want to say depth, but I know that's not right. Like, of course I'm using a linear 3D. What if we just change this to Julia? That's what happened. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool there. I like that. And of course, under Define, it may also help to use the Preserve Z button. Or it may not. Sometimes it all disappears. A little quick fix: if you hit the YZ button, go to one of the variations, scale it down a little, oh, a lot. Because basically, what Scale Z, the Preserve Z does, is it takes a flat variation and adds a Z-type linear to it to give it the height, to give it to work on the Z-axis. So it's actually making it go so high on the axis that you can't see it. That's why using the YZ here, it is shrinking that linear part of the Z. If that makes any sense, hopefully it does. And of course, now as we scale the Z down, you can also get another idea of how it can work with it. Scale the Z, scale the X. So hopefully I have given you a few ideas on how to use the color scale variation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. You can comment below, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.